Ben Josie.
Here.
LaDonna Allen.
Here.
Roger Spencer.
Here.
We all please stand and join me in our pledge of allegiance and the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you pray with me? Eternal God, as we begin another session of the Carl Junction Board of Alderman, we ask that you invest in this board your strength and wisdom to fortify us and to guide us as we enhance the prosperity of our community and improve the quality of life for those you've entrusted to us. It's in your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Rick. Next is approval of the agenda. Are there any comments or corrections to the agenda?
Make a motion, we approve the agenda as typed.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Holly Levine to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative with no opposed. That's approved. Next is the consent agenda, which is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting and approval of disbursements. Any comments or corrections to the consent agenda?
Move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Holly Allen, second by Roger Spencer to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative with none opposed. Consent agenda is approved. Next is public forum. Anyone wishing to speak at the public forum? Last call for public forum. All right, then we'll go right along. Next, I wish to appoint Steve Smith and Richard Garrett to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and I would like to have the council's approval on that.
So be it.
Mayor,
Yes, yes, sir.
could you be more specific as to the term?
Oh, well, no. Wasn't on the agenda. Was it 2 years?
Yes.
Good guess, huh? For 2 years. Thank you.
I second the motion.
Who's, you?
Yep.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Don Allen, to approve my appointment of Steve Smith and Richard Garrett to the Planning and Zoning Commission for 2 years. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. Did you raise your hand, Mark? Okay, 8 in the affirmative with none opposed. Congratulations, Richard. And Steve is not here, though. Okay, next is rejection of bids for Phase 5 of the Pinell sidewalks. Would you like to elaborate, Steve?
Yep, we had the bid opening for Phase 5 of the sidewalk projects. We had one bidder, a D&E Plumbing and Heating out of Nixa. And his bid was 22% higher than engineer's estimate. You have a letter in your packet there, and Anderson is recommending that we reject the bid and that we go back out for bid later in the winter with a May post-school construction timeframe in hopes that we can get more people interested in it. Maybe these companies will be planning for next year's season, that type of thing. So I would need a
Motion to reject
yes.
the single bid we got on Phase 5 of the Pinell sidewalk. Yes, Mike.
Is there a limit to how long you can keep the bid process open? I mean,
30 days is what they want us to have it open.
I say if there wasn't a limit, you could open the bids now and keep them open for a longer time, to see if you happen to get a good bid between now and the winter. But if it's a set 30 days,
Yeah, that's what MoDOT requests out of us, is that we do a 30-day period.
okay, that's all.
Yes, we're going to go out for bids later in the year.
How long do we have to complete the project? We'll still be fine if they started in May, won't we, as far as?
Oh, yeah, we'll still be fine on that. And I'm not sure that I know the answer to that. I don't know if we have a time frame on this money. I don't think we do.
Good to find out.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, I guess we can just move to reject the bids, and if we find out we need to bid it out earlier.
Well, yeah, we can always, yeah.
I move we reject the single bid for the next phase of sidewalk.
Second. Mark? Motion by Don Allen, second by Mark Sedley to reject the Phase 5 bid for Pinell sidewalks that we received. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Affirmative. With no nays, that bid is rejected and will be going out later for bids. Next is review of the water policies and procedures. I assume this refers to water billing,
Water billing, utility billing.
utility billing, yes. Water, gas, I&I.
We,
Gas.
back in 2019, February, March 2019, we came up with this policy to address several issues that we're having. Here of late, we had one more issue that Holly was so kind to take care of for us that was able to get done. Wanted to put this in front of you again for your review. There's a couple of things that we do need to change in it. One of them is the reference. I don't think there's any reference in there about the electronic bill pay and that type of thing, and listing out the options that we have. We also need to recognize in there that, we're not responsible for Google or Yahoo or any other internet carrier, email server, delivering, just like we're not responsible for the post office or FedEx or UPS. So we need to make note in that. The other one in there is actually came out of legislation this year, and I laid a copy there for you. We are allowed to make closed record utility information. Occasionally, we do get a call from a third party asking about usage and that type of thing, and we've always been very careful with that information because it can be attributed back to a person, so that identity, and I had a term for it, but I've lost it. But we need to make reference in our policy about that also, that those items are not public record.
When do we have on our website and available the amount of each individual's water bill?
The date the bills are finalized, so it's absolutely no later than 31st of the month. It's usually
Okay, so if we say the first business day of the next month, I think you need to have a deal in there that you have someone on. So if you mail them out, then how long does it take? When do people get them when you mail them? Well, I mean,
Logically, 2 to 3 days.
okay, so let's say then we should put in there a statement that says, in my opinion, you not disagree with me, that says, if you do not receive your electronic copy or your mail copy by the 5th of the month, you need to call City Hall or website to ensure, so you know what your water bill is. That lets them know that sometimes they're not going to get a bill, maybe because it's not necessarily our fault, or if it is our fault, I mean, they still know that by the 5th of the month, they can call the city, or they get on the city's website and find out exactly how much their water bill is. So we put that in there too. Does anybody object to that?
No, this gives you guys some time too, that, in the next couple of weeks, that you can read this and see if you come up with anything else too that needs to go in us and let us know.
Do we know, have you tried that new address?
They tried it today. Scott did get us a new address that is now hosted by Google. They are still having problems making it work for some reason. I don't think this is on Google. I think this is on Tyler Technology's side.
Okay,
So he is working with Scott to get that correct.
okay, so, and Google was Gmail was the only accounts we had problems with, is that correct?
Not the only one, but I would say 98% of the issues. The other one was, that I heard this last month, was not one I hear very often, MCHSI or
Mediacom.
Mediacom. Okay, there you go.
MCHSI.com.
Mediacom.
Yeah.
We did have a couple of calls from people whose emails ended in that did not get their bills, but it was far fewer than the people with Gmail accounts.
Okay. I was thinking about changing my email address. That's like to my Outlook account, but.
So
Okay,
if you,
so-
if you go through this and let us know if you have something you want included on it, we'll get everything modified.
Yeah, if you guys see something else
Get it
that needs to
back
be
to
on
you.
there, call them and tell them before the next meeting, so we don't have to wait another 2 weeks to do it.
Yeah.
Anything else on water policies and procedures? Any other comments from anybody? Very well then, we'll go on to ordinances. Ordinance approving a change order for the 2022 Center Creek sewer crossing. What we need to
I
have,
move we put this on first reading by title
was by Don Allen, some Roger Spencer, to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving change order number 1 to an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and Jeff Asbell Excavating and Trucking Incorporated to complete the 2022 Center Creek Crossing sewer repair for the city of Carl Junction, Missouri. Said change order number 1 being for a concrete additive to reduce the washing of lime with concrete for a total additional cost of $2,350.35 and increasing the total contract cost to $248,800.77 and authorizing the mayor to execute said change order number 1 for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Discussion. Steve, you want to explain this?
Sure. What they do is they had an additive that they put in the concrete while they're pouring that concrete underwater, and it allows the concrete to stay in place and congeal, I guess, so that the flow of the water over the top of it while it's curing and while they're putting it in place doesn't happen. That way it doesn't wash away any of the material while they're putting it in place. And part of that, and if you look on the change order itself, they didn't use as much concrete either, and so that's what brought the total price down to that $2,300.
Any further discussion, Mike?
So obviously they're not done with this project. I thought it looked like they cleaned up and we're done, and so, yeah, got more to go.
Just
Yes,
a quick question.
Rick?
I may be misunderstanding this. So they knew they were pouring concrete and water, right? And then now they want to add this later?
No, well, they knew they were pouring it in the creek channel. They didn't know the water flow they would actually have while they were trying to do it. We've used this mixture before down at the treatment plant. We've used it also. Should they have put it in to begin with? Probably so. It probably should have been in the engineer's estimate to begin with. But then we would be doing a change order to go reduction instead of an increase. If they didn't do it,
They don't just automatically put it in when they're working with water?
no, they do not.
This should, yeah, Algar Martin probably should have put it in.
Algar Martin probably should put it in.
So they're not gonna dam it up like they did before and pour concrete?
No, they used inflatable bladders.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Did a good job too.
And the others on there were for the caps and the gaskets for that extra 12-inch pipe that we already had in stock. We put in place for that ductile iron pipe.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Mark Sadler, to put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving change order number 1 to an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and Jeff Asbell Excavating and Trucking Incorporated to complete the 2022 Center Creek Crossing sewer repair for the city of Carl Junction, Missouri. Said change order number 1 being for a concrete additive to reduce the washing of fines in the concrete for a total additional cost of $2,350.35 and increasing the total contract cost to $248,800.77 and authorizing the mayor to execute said change order number 1 for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Rick Lynn to put this ordinance on final passage. It's a hand vote to go to electronic voting. Please, all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. In the affirmative, please vote electronically. The ordinance passes 8-0, and that's ordinance number
2225.
2225. Thank you. Next is the administration report. Any comments? Pipes?
We've always
Comments
been
for the city administrator on his report? You notice it's a lot shorter now because we have a project report, the first meeting every month. No comments? Very well, then I'm going to move on to department reports. We have a PD report here. Any comments for the chief?
The only thing I would like to say, I don't know if people realize, but our PD has kind of been knocking it out of the park the last couple of weeks. Had a lot of felony arrests. They got a lot of things taken care of. So I appreciate a lot of different officers' names were involved. So thank you.
Very good. Anything else for the chief? Chief, want to say anything?
Just follow up on that. They have been doing a good job. We've been kind of assisting with Joplin and Jasper County. A lot of them that's having really violent crimes in Joplin and Jasper County have wound up on our borders. So we've been backing them up. We've arrested them in the city, getting drugs off the street. We tipped off the drug task force who residents here in town, and 2 weeks ago, I believe it was, while following up on that, they gave information on that residence and the vehicles to Oklahoma Highway Patrol because they got information they were trafficking, and they did pull them over with a substantial amount of meth and other drugs. So that was a big bust for us.
Cool. Great.
Good job.
Very good.
Good job, guys and ladies.
One thing we need to think about for probably the next budget cycle, if we can get it to last that long, is new heating and air system, air handlers over at the PD. Those have been a consistent problem for several years now, and we've put a lot of money into just fixing it, repairing it, and everything, and it's time to take a look at that and find out.
Well, I did have one other question. Chief, are the officers, are they all still carrying Narcan?
Yes. There might be one that's down right now because it was either damaged or used previously, and we get it from Jasper County Health Department. And so we've got to I just got the box on my desk yesterday, so I got to give it to the health department and get another box of it. But yes, for the most part, they are.
Anything else? Very good. Moving right along, we've got Public Works. Anything for Jay? Got his report here. It's in writing. Doing a lot of work, a lot of water work. Nothing for Jay? Jay need?
Not yet.
No, yeah.
Very good. Okay. Building inspectors was the first of the month, so we don't go with that. Next, we go to committee reports. Budget and finance, Ladonna.
Nothing except now we know that we need to budget for some more for the PD. And inflation is still holding, so that's all we've got.
But gas is down.
But yes,
And we're
need,
using regular.
yeah.
we do need to get the budget committee together. The budget committee got copies of the draft audit, and the auditor is ready to come over to present to the budget committee. So we do need to do that.
Oh, that very good.
They're ready right now?
Yep.
Committee members, what do you think? Do they want to try to get it knocked out this month?
That would be Gozy, Flynn, and Satterley.
Is there a day people are not available?
I'm not available on Wednesday.
Nice. Got that Sunday starting there.
Sunday morning, no.
Wednesday?
When did you say, Rick?
Not Wednesdays
He
and
can't
not
do
Sunday
Wednesday.
morning.
No. Darn, we were gonna do it on Sunday morning.
Sunday morning,
Uh,
do something productive.
is everybody available like on Tuesday afternoons or?
Monday afternoon, I can do something, but it'd be after 3 o'clock. Or 3:30 be the best.
You wanna try to do a 3:30 Monday, or would that kill you on Monday, trying to do a meeting, Steve?
We'll check with them.
Okay, you might see the next 2 Mondays if one of them's available.
Next 2 Mondays, we'll check with them and see.
And then we'll just post it and I guess let us know, we'll email each other.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good.
Monday.
Everybody else is also welcome to attend, you know. If you want to.
That work, you work.
It's not just for the committee,
Wake up
Welcome to
early
attend.
and good
even
work.
everybody out here is welcome to attend.
You could,
At
if we
what
did
time?
like a 3:30 or something.
Oh, I'm doing my.
Okay.
You could run out in the heat and soccer.
Anything else for budget? Have a date on that yet?
No,
One of the next 2 Mondays, they're gonna check. Follow up. We'll communicate.
Well, October the 3rd would work for me. So,
Well, if they're talking what, the 31st or the 8th, right?
they're talking the 26th or the 3rd. Well, hey,
Okay.
it's a Monday.
So we can try for the 10th or go to another day of the week.
So not the 26th.
26th is fine for me.
Yeah,
The 3rd is not.
26th or the 10th, we just can't do
I
it.
can't do the 26th.
For Pete's sake,
That's this Monday.
what about a
so it
Thursday?
looks like the 10th.
I'm
Are people available on a Thursday? Maybe we can hit a Thursday that everybody
Thursday's fine.
Okay, let's try, and that way you're not taking away everybody on a Monday when you're trying to catch up after the weekend. Elena, would you try to get us?
Email them tomorrow and see about either the 29th or the 6th.
Thank you. Okay, budget's done.
At that time. Code nuisance, Rick?
Yes, sir. We had a meeting tonight on a code change, and I'll let Steve explain details on
Code committee approved sending it to planning and zoning. It's in the 405 section having to do with accessory buildings. And so we'll get the public hearing notices out through planning and zoning, and then it will come back to you guys as council whole.
Good job.
Thank you.
That's it. Anything else for code nuisance? Human resources, Roger?
Nothing.
Any questions for Roger? Facilities and planning, Mike?
Just a minute ago, or before the meeting, I laid a little piece of paper in front of the Public Facilities Committee. There's an activity called foot golf. It kind of mimics disc golf. And there's a website on there, and if the members wouldn't mind just looking at that real quick and seeing if that's something. There's a member of the community approached me about this activity, and I kind of utilized some of the same course that we have for the disc golf, but just a little different idea. So
Is that where they have the big hole in the soccer ball?
correct. Anyway, if they don't mind looking at that,
That's a great
and
idea.
let me know what you
I
think.
think Neosho has one, don't they? They
It's
used
possible.
to.
There's a National Association of Lamar that was the closest one that was registered, but I think you have to pay money to get on the registered website. So there may be some in the show, but definitely quite a few around the country.
Affordable, attractive.
That's all I have, sir.
Well, thank you. Anything else for Mike? Okay. Senior citizens, Richard, would you like to talk?
Just a little bit. Whoever sets this mic must be really short. Anyway, can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't think the mic's on, but I can hear you. I don't think the mic's on, but I can hear
We
you.
can hear you.
Can you still hear me?
People
Yes.
like
We can hear you
Can
perfectly.
you hear me now?
It's red. It's batteries.
battery died.
I'll just have to speak up. We'll put that out.
That's why we put it down low. That's why we did that, because, it wasn't working.
Oh, bro, why do you do? Things are looking up at the senior center. Our attendance, even though it may be hot spiking a little, spiking and then down a little bit, but we've been in the 40 numbers over the last couple of weeks, and that's good. That is good. So I think we're in the long run recovering from COVID, and the attendance looks good. In the past, you all have responded to some needs that we had in regard to the heat tables in there, replaced the heat table, did some signage on etching on the doors. Well, I'm coming to again. We have lights out in the men's restroom that have been out for well over a year. Part of them have been repaired, but they have not all been turned back on. And so it just doesn't present a good image when you go in and the bathroom is dark. So whatever we got to do to change light bulbs, we should do. And in the senior center as such, there's fluorescent lights that are out close to the where the library is, that side of the building. There's some fluorescent lights that are out in there.
How big are those lights? Are they 2-footers?
2-footers.
So we replace them with the LEDs like we did in here?
Yep.
Good.
So, okay,
That'll be even better, yeah.
all right, well, that'll be good. It just gets done. I mean, it doesn't, it's more than just replacing a light bulb. You're replacing fixtures.
Well,
Recessed stuff.
you got to take the ballast out, and you got to put some wires together and do stuff like that, put new deals in there. Like did them in the office in here. It's not a big deal.
Well,
Greg is really good at that.
thank you very much.
What are the lights like in the restroom? Are they
They're,
fluorescents?
They're a 4-foot,
Yeah, that's not good.
and they're a different pin style also.
The single pin?
I think we've still got like a whole box of those.
You should have been putting that.
Yeah.
It is really dark in the restrooms anyhow.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Got it.
Anything else for Richard? Okay then, let's see. Let's go on to, I believe we're into unfinished business now. Jim?
No, sir.
Mark?
No, sir.
Mike?
Nothing, sir.
Ladonna?
No, sir.
I have nothing.
No.
Roger? Rick?
No, sir.
Bob?
Nothing.
Holly?
No, sir.
Mr. Talley? Elena?
No, sir.
Crystal?
No, sir.
Steve?
Yes, sir.
What? Mark? Jay? I remembered everybody's name. Okay, no unfinished business, then we'll go to new business. Holly?
No.
Bob?
No, I have nothing.
Rick?
Just a reminder, the Bluegrass Festival this weekend. There'll be 15,000 people driving around our neighborhood, or town. Maybe not that many.
You hope.
I hope to sell every one of them a hamburger.
And the Joplin Disc Golf Tournament, which will be out at Lakeside Park
Yes.
this weekend too.
It's gonna be a busy weekend.
Really good. And football.
And football.
And football,
Football.
it'll be crowded.
Yep.
Good.
No pressure on you.
11, so I'll be inside. Is that it?
That's it.
Nothing.
Roger, I have nothing. Ladonna?
I have one thing. I was contacted by a representative of the community library, and this is their 3rd year anniversary, believe it or not already. They wanted to invite the council as a whole to tour the facility, maybe at our next meeting, which it's yoga night. But they wanted to see if we could maybe put it on the agenda, like at the end of the meeting, to tour the library for just a few minutes. They wanted to go over some improvements.
Yeah, we'll adjourn, then we can all go in there and tour it.
So if everybody would be willing to do that, I can message them back and tell them.
Yeah,
We'll
let's
head
not
that
put it
way.
on the agenda, but let's just, after we adjourn, we'll all go in there and take a look at it.
Okay.
Is that okay with everybody? You gonna be here, Mark?
There's gonna be cake.
That's not sure, okay.
Yeah, I'll tell them to bring cookies or something.
He's thinking about retiring.
Really?
Love to.
Or you just don't want to get harassed
Even
anymore.
after the stock crash.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Mike,
I have nothing, sir.
Mark,
Nothing, sir.
Jim?
No.
Mr. Talley?
No.
Lena?
Yes, sir.
Crystal?
Yes, sir.
Steve? I'm talking about debt service?
Yes, sir. A couple of things. One of them is just for your information. Laid in front of you a spreadsheet that I keep running that I have since 2000, and it's our assessed value growth rate. We had 8.5% growth rate last year in our assessed value. So our total levy just keeps going down because we keep growing and getting more houses. And as you can see, we are, what, 3 times as big as we were back in 2000. So that's a pretty significant growth rate that we've been able to keep up with and keep going. Although not always smooth, we do keep growing, so it's a good deal. Second thing is, I laid in front of you a memo on our sewer rates. Got the information back from the engineers and what they are proposing, although in a little different structure, is fairly close to what we already charge. I'm not going to recommend that we adjust the sewer rates this year. We will have to adjust the contract with Airport Drive because they've had some growth over there too. That contract does need to be, and that will come back to you as an ordinance addendum, I don't know, 32 or something. That contract's quite old. But
Do they approve it before we approve it?
The engineers have to get together.
yeah,
Okay.
engineers have already done all of their work, and we've given it to them and said, this is what we think, and we're waiting to hear back from them.
As for who approves first, I don't think that's first.
Okay.
Just what they're
Okay.
going to approve.
Okay. Okay, so is that all?
Yes, sir.
What was that, the landfill thing on there too?
That was something on Lena laid there.
That was something we got from the public services, inviting everyone to an open house that they are having. So I just wanted you all to have that information in case you're interested in attending.
All right. Mark, any new business? Jay?
Yeah,
All right.
I guess it's new. Today I went down to the bank stabilization project and they had the rock laid in there. It's only 1 foot above the water level right now, and that's where it's supposed to be at. There's 10-foot bank that's not gonna be covered. Our manhole is 13 foot from the bank. When we first started this, the manhole was 20 foot from the bank, so in a year's time, it's came that much farther. The bank originally was 50 foot out the creek, about 15 years ago.
They started on that yet?
I'll have to, if you want me to, and I agree with Jay that it needs to be done. That whole bank needs to be armored all the way up to the top so that we don't lose it, not just part way.
The other projects have been rock clear to the top.
Yeah. It would be a change order. I pulled the plans out and looked, and
Just like Alder Martin's plans?
yes, they didn't show it going all the way to the top in the plan, so that's what it would.
The inspector told me today when I was down there that the engineer will be there tomorrow to visit with him. So I'm gonna try to be there whenever they're there.
Okay, good. Yes, Ladonna.
I have a question. The engineers the people that engineered that part of the project, that was their area of expertise, correct? I mean, if we end up having to do a change order because it's obviously not working, is there any way we can go back on the engineer to get part of this covered? Because this
We
will
don't
be
know
a
if
sizable
it's not
increase.
working. The only thing that's different is that the two projects on each side of it were different.
Yeah.
We can't say whether it would And they engineered both the other two.
That's why I mean, maybe there's a reason this one was different.
We need to find out.
That was our main concern when we approved the expense of the project, was to protect that manhole.
It
That
might
is
have
true.
something to do with the weirs that they're filling out into the water to get that to backfill in with creek material, sediment. It's still not going to build up to, even with that sediment, it's still not going to build up that 10 foot.
Yeah, the jetties right now, the ones they have stacked there is probably 4 foot above water to kick the water back out away from the banks. But once you get above that, then you're looking at 6 foot more of dirt bank. And every time it floods, it just rips away at it.
And we've had that much more loss in a year, and this has been a dry year.
Well, spring is pretty wet.
Nay,
15 years, we've had 50 foot of bank loss.
we'll find out from them and we'll see what.
Transfer my email to get the agenda on. Anything else, Jay? Anything else for Jay? Very good. Turning to business before the council.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Rick Flynn, that we adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative with no dissensions. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much for attending.